What's going on, baseball fans? So it is time to make my free agent predictions. I'm not sure how these are going to go. I'm probably going to be wrong about all of them, but you know what? Predictions are fun. So let's go over my top 30 free agent predictions for this upcoming offseason. Let's not waste any time. Let's get to it. Coming in at number 30, I have James McCann signing with the New York Mets. Starting off my top 30 free agents is catcher James McCann, and I have him going to the New York Mets, which will be the first of a few players going to Queens. McCann had a solid season for the White Sox, even with Yasmani Grandal in the fold. He hit .289 with 7 homers and an .896 OPS, and also provided some solid defense, saving 5 runs in the field, 2 runs with his framing, and totaled a 4.4 defensive runs above average, which ranked 12th in the majors. The Mets ranked 17th defensively at the catching position last year with Wilson Ramos, but with this option declined, this opens the door for someone like McCann, who is looking to become a full-time catcher again. In my opinion, the Mets would be a perfect fit as they're looking to become relevant again with new owner Stephen Cohen running the ship. At number 29, I have Jon Lester signing with the Chicago Cubs. While I would love for a storybook ending and have Jon Lester finish his career in Boston, it just sounds too good to be true. With the Red Sox not looking to break the bank, as well as giving spots in the rotation to some younger guys and more cost-efficient options out there, I feel like the stars just won't quite align. A move I can see happening, though, is Lester simply returning to the Cubs on a cheaper deal. Lester himself has acknowledged to MLB Network Radio that he won't get a lot of money coming off of the year he had, which wasn't very good, as he posted an FIP of 5.14 and a strikeout per 9 rate of 6.20, the lowest of his career. However, he also said that there is mutual interest between himself and the Cubs, because really the Cubs need starting pitching depth with only Yu Darvish, Kyle Hendricks, and Alec Mills in the rotation. He's also a workhorse and will provide innings, as well as being a leader in the clubhouse. I can see Lester returning on a much more friendly deal for at least a season or two. Coming in at number 28, I have Corey Kluber signing with the Boston Red Sox. Speaking of the Red Sox, while I don't think they'll bring back Lester, one I can see is Corey Kluber, who is coming off a couple of injury-riddled seasons. This kind of move has Chaim Bloom's name all over it, as he made a similar move bringing in veteran Charlie Morton on a 2-year deal with the Rays. Kluber has basically been non-existent the last 2 seasons due to a broken arm and a shoulder injury this past season that didn't require surgery, but I can see Bloom bringing him in on a cheaper deal that would benefit both sides. It would give Kluber a chance to restore his value, while it gives the Red Sox a chance to catch lightning in a bottle while Chris Sale works his way back from Tommy John surgery. Coming in at number 27, I have Brad Hand signing with the Boston Red Sox. And here I have another pitcher going to the Red Sox, except this time it's for the bullpen, and that's Brad Hand. The Red Sox lacked many things last season, with one of them being the bullpen, as they only ranked 26 overall. However, they really lacked left-handed relief pitching, ranking 29th in FIP from their left-handers. One guy that just hit the market after having his option declined is Brad Hand. He was actually placed on outright waivers, but no one picked up his $10 million salary, making him a free agent. While he did eventually blow the save in Game 2 of the wildcard round to the Yankees, he did have a fantastic season, saving all 16 of his opportunities to the tune of a 2.05 ERA, a 1.37 FIP, and almost 12 strikeouts per 9. Bringing in Hand on a multi-year deal would give the Red Sox a solid bullpen arm. Coming in at number 26, I have KOLTON WONG signing with the LA Angels. Surprisingly, the Cardinals decided not to renew the team option on multiple-time Gold Glove winner KOLTON WONG, who once again had a very solid season defensively, saving 6 runs, along with a UZR of 3.8, which ranked second among all second basemen. He also provided a decent season offensively, hitting .265 with an on-base of 350 over 53 games. When they traded Tommy La Stella to the Athletics this past season, along with David Fletcher expected to stick a shortstop with Andrelton Simmons on his way out, it created an opening at second. KOLTON WONG would be a perfect fit, considering the Angels ranked second to last in defense last season, along with only ranking 16th in defense at second base. Bringing in Wong would also provide a player with tons of postseason experience, and with the Angels looking to make the playoffs, this could only help. Wong would be a perfect fit in my opinion. Coming in at number 25, I have Tommy La Stella signing with the Milwaukee Brewers. In my opinion, Tommy LaStella would be a great fit for the Brewers, and here's why. The Brewers ranked dead last in contact rate last year and third to last in strikeout rate. Enter Tommy LaStella, who ranked second in contact rate last season behind David Fletcher, and he was in the top 30% in strikeout rate. The Brewers also ranked 26th in the majors against right-handed pitchers, while Tommy LaStella ranked 14th in WRC plus against righties. He can play second, third, and first base, and he shouldn't cost too much. This sounds like a match made in heaven. Coming in at number 24, I have Jackie Bradley Jr. signing with the New York Mets. As much as I love JBJ and his amazing glove, along with some great memories from that 2018 World Series run, I think it's time for the Red Sox to move on here. A great spot for Jackie Bradley Jr. would be the Mets, as they had one of the worst defenses last year, as well as ranking near the bottom in defense in center field. Bradley Jr. would sure help the defense, but he can also bring some offense to the table as well, as he hit .283 with 7 homers and 22 RBIs over 55 games in 2020. While the Mets will most likely be in on George Springer, I think ultimately they'll go with someone that can provide better defense in center field, and he'll be much cheaper. This would also allow the Mets to possibly package Brandon Nimmo in a trade for a top-end reliever or a starter for the rotation. Coming in at number 23, I have Kevin Gausman signing with the San Francisco Giants. One guy that had himself an under-the-radar good season was Kevin Gausman, who had a 3.09 FIP and striking out almost 12 batters per 9 this past year. With the Giants performing better than expected this past season and almost making the playoffs, it feels like they're in between a rebuild and going for a championship, and that's just simply retooling. With Gausman having himself a solid campaign, along with the fact that the Giants offered him a qualifying offer, I think he'll end up re-signing in San Francisco for at least a couple of seasons. Coming in at number 22, I have Michael Brantley signing with the Houston Astros. While Michael Brantley has dealt with some injuries in the last couple of seasons, he has been solid nonetheless for the Astros. In 46 games this past season, he hit .300 with a .364 on base, along with 5 homers and 22 RBIs. With a good chance of George Springer leaving town, I would imagine the Astros would like to keep Brantley in the fold for a couple more years. Coming in at number 21, I have Ha-Seong Kim signing with the Chicago Cubs. Here's a fun one to enter this list. For those of you that don't know Ha-Seong Kim, he's a 25-year-old shortstop from the KBO, and he's awesome. He has all the tools, as he can hit for average, power, he has speed, has good plate discipline, and he can play a very solid shortstop. In 2020 for the Kiwoom Heroes, he was very good, hitting .308 with 30 homers, 109 RBIs, 23 stolen bases, and a .926 OPS overall. While those numbers may not necessarily translate to the major leagues, he still has a lot of tools and the talent capable enough of being an above-average shortstop. Now you might be thinking, why would the Cubs go after a shortstop when they have Javier Baez manning the position? Well, Baez is a free agent next season, so Kim could be an option long term. For the short term, Kim can provide a bat while playing a utility role, as he can also play third as well as second if needed. Speaking of third, Chris Bryant is a free agent in a couple of years, so maybe Kim can slide over to third eventually. With the Cubs in sort of limbo mode, as they have the roster capable of making the playoffs, but with guys becoming free agents soon, it may behoove the Cubs to add a talented young player for the future. Coming in at number 20, I have James Paxton signing with the Toronto Blue Jays. With the Blue Jays ranking only 23rd in starting pitching, they really need to address this, and one name that comes to mind that shouldn't cost too much is James Paxton. He's actually a native of Canada, and even though he had back surgery, he still has a lot left to offer. With the Blue Jays in desperate need of starting pitching, especially after releasing Chase Anderson, I could see them going after Paxton. While he had a down 2020, he was solid in 2019 and will have a full offseason to recoup from his back surgery. Because of the surgery, his value could be down, which would work in the Blue Jays' favor since they're known for not spending tons of money in the past. If James Paxton comes back healthy, the Blue Jays could find themselves with a pretty decent rotation with Hyun-Jin Ryu, James Paxton, and Nate Pearson if he continues to develop. Coming in at number 19, I have Jose Quintana signing with the Arizona Diamondbacks. It feels like Jose Quintana just never got it going with the Cubs after the Cubs acquired him from the White Sox back in 2017. However, he wasn't bad by any means, posting a 3.93 FIP over 78 starts for the Cubs. One team that could be in need of starting pitching from the left side could be the Diamondbacks, considering they ranked dead last in FIP from their lefties in 2020. With Robbie Ray on his way out, as well as Madison Bumgarner coming off a horrendous season, Quintana could seamlessly slide into the Diamondbacks rotation. Coming in at number 18, I have Jake Odorizzi signing with the San Francisco Giants. Jake Odorizzi's coming off a season that he would like to forget about. He only started 4 games in 2020 due to injury and didn't perform well, posting a 6.59 ERA. However, with an offseason to recoup and collect himself, I could see Odorizzi going to the Giants for a couple of reasons. The Giants were very close to making the playoffs this past season and were definitely a surprising team. Bringing in Odorizzi on a cheaper deal to restore his value may do him some good, and his stuff would play well in San Francisco, considering he likes to attack the top of the strike zone, which induces more fly balls, shown by his career fly ball rate of 45%. Fly balls in that ballpark would work perfectly. Coming in at number 17, I have Jock Peterson signing with the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox have been tied with Jock Peterson for a while, showing interest in trading for the lefty dating back to last offseason. The White Sox needed a right fielder last offseason, and they went out and acquired Nomar Mazara, but they may be looking again after he had a really underwhelming season, only hitting 1 home run in 42 games. Enter Jock Peterson, who had 7 homers, primarily against righties, and performed well this postseason, hitting .382 with 2 homers and 8 RBIs. With Mazara struggling and Adam Angel performing well against lefties this year, Peterson could be a good fit that could rotate in and out of right field, as well as DH on some days. Coming in at number 16, I have Taijuan Walker signing with the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers had one of the worst starting pitching staffs in 2020, so they will definitely be on the market for starting pitching. One guy that made a name for himself this past season was Taijuan Walker, who was basically non-existent due to Tommy John surgery, but he put up some solid numbers in 2020, posting a 2.70 ERA and 8 strikeouts per 9 over 11 starts. The FIP was a bit high at 4.56, but with some more time back on the mound, perhaps Walker can get even better. With the Tigers in the midst of a rebuild, Taijuan Walker could be a good high upside signing at a decent price for the Tigers. Coming in at number 15, I have Mike Minor signing with the Chicago Cubs. With the Cubs in need of starting pitching depth, one guy I could see them going for is veteran left-hander Mike Minor. After having a really good 2019 season in which he started 32 games and had an ERA of 3.59, he did fall off in 2020, posting a 5.56 ERA. But with his track record, perhaps a fresh start with a new organization can get him on the right track. Coming in at number 14, I have Andrelton Simmons signing with the Oakland Athletics. Up next is the best defensive shortstop on the market, Andrelton Simmons. He won't give you much with the bat, but he will give you an amazing glove as shortstop. I think a great spot for him would be the Oakland A's, who have Marcus Semien on his way out. The A's love to have good defense, as they've ranked in the top 5 on defense the last 3 seasons. I think Simmons would be a great fit. Coming in at number 13, I have Alex Colomé signing with the LA Angels. With the Angels bullpen only ranking 13th last season, they could really use another arm out there, especially considering they're motivated and really trying to make the playoffs. They'll most likely go after Liam Hendriks, but since I think Hendriks will end up with another team, more on that soon, the Angels will have to look elsewhere. Enter Alex Colomé, who had himself a solid season with the White Sox. He may not strike out a lot of guys, shown by his strikeout per 9 rate under 6.5, but his numbers have been very solid. In 2020, he posted a 0.81 ERA and a 2.97 FIP over 22 innings while saving 12 games. Coming in at number 12, I have Justin Turner signing with the Toronto Blue Jays. Fresh off of a World Series, Justin Turner finds himself on the free agent market. He's coming off a solid season in which he hit .307 with an .860 OPS and a .140 WRC plus that ranked 4th among all third basemen. He did deal with some hamstring problems this past season, and his defense won't blow you off the charts, but the bat is still solid and he'll be a valuable veteran presence to any ball club. One club that could use a winning kind of player, as well as a third baseman in general, are the Blue Jays. I think this would be a great fit. Coming in at number 11, I have Nelson Cruz signing with the Minnesota Twins. It seems the older Nelson Cruz gets, the better he gets, as he was one of the better hitters in the majors this past season. In 53 games as the DH for the Twins this past season, he had 16 homers and a .992 OPS. While the Twins were once again a letdown this postseason, I hate everything. Cruz was one of the bright spots in 2020. I personally don't think there are many great fits for a DH unless it's the Mariners, but he really doesn't fit into the rebuilding plans unless they want to bring him back as like some kind of a mentor in a way for the young guys. However, I think ultimately him and the Twins are a good fit together and he'll end up re-signing. Coming in at number 10, I have Didi Gregorius signing with the Philadelphia Phillies. Entering the top 10, I have Didi Gregorius re-signing with the Phillies. Last offseason, Didi signed with the Phillies on a one-year deal, but he really took advantage of that one season. He played all 60 games, hitting .284 with 10 homers, 40 RBIs, and an .827 OPS. Him and manager Joe Girardi have a good relationship dating back to their years with the Yankees, and he provides not just a steady bat, but a steady glove as well as a good presence in the clubhouse. I think in the end, he ends up re-signing for a couple of years as it just seemed like a good fit from the start. Coming in at number 9, I have Masahiro Tanaka signing with the New York Yankees. After coming to the States after signing a 7-year deal with the Yankees, he'll be a free agent for the very first time, and he should have some callers. He's been solid in his major league career so far, averaging 25 starts a season, along with a 3.74 ERA, a 3.91 FIP, and 8.5 strikeouts per 9. While he will most likely get a lot of interest, I think he stays with the Yankees in the end. The Yankees need starting pitching, and while I don't think he fits the profile of a number 2 behind Garrett Cole, I think he's at least a solid 3 or 4 in the rotation. Coming in at number 8, I have Liam Hendriks signing with the New York Mets. One of the worst bullpens in the major leagues in 2020 will get one of the best relievers in the game in Liam Hendriks. The Mets bullpen was just terrible in 2020 as they ranked 22nd in WAR and 26th in saves. With Steve Cohen officially the new owner of the New York Mets, I think they use some money and address a major weakness. While Hendriks alone won't fix the Mets bullpen entirely, it will definitely be a step in the right direction. Coming in at number 7, I have Marcus Stroman signing with the LA Angels. After a year of dealing with a calf injury, along with opting out of the season due to COVID-19 concerns, Marcus Stroman will be one of the most sought-after starting pitchers on the market. The last time he pitched in 2019, he was an all-star for the first time, making 32 starts with a 3.22 ERA and about 19 strikeouts per 9. He would be a great fit for an Angels team that is in dire need of starting pitching that ranked 21st in the majors in 2020. Coming in at number 6, I have Marcus Semien signing with the Cincinnati Reds. Marcus Semien had a phenomenal 2019 season in which he had 33 homers along with an .892 OPS while playing some solid defense shown by a 6.7 UZR. However, in 2020, he really fell off, only compiling a .679 OPS with -5 defensive runs saved. While the short season didn't work in his favor, he did start to look a little better in the postseason, hitting .407 over 27 at-bats. While it's possible he could have put together much better numbers over a full season, I think in the end he takes a short deal somewhere to try and restore his value more. The Reds would be a great fit for Semien, considering they ranked second to last in offense at the shortstop position last year, and shortstop prospect Jose Garcia could use some more seasoning in the minor leagues. Coming in at number 5, I have DJ LeMahieu signing with the New York Yankees. DJ LeMahieu was really solid for the Yankees this season, leading the major leagues with a .364 batting average along with an OPS of 1.011. He's also played multiple positions during his time with the Yankees, and with their history of injuries, that has been a plus. I think if you're the Yankees, who are in win-now mode, you have to do everything you can to keep LeMahieu in New York for the foreseeable future. Coming in at number 4, I have Marcell Ozuna signing with the Atlanta Braves. Marcell Ozuna went to the Braves last offseason after a pretty decent season with the Cardinals, but he ended up being one of the Braves' best hitters in 2020. In 60 games, he hit .338 with 18 homers and a 1.067 OPS. To me, he really put it all together this season, and it seemed he really enjoyed his time in Atlanta. Atlanta had one of the best offenses in all of baseball this season with Ozuna in the middle of the order, and I think they should do what they can to keep him in the fold to try and keep together that offense for a few more seasons. Coming in at number 3, I have George Springer signing with the Detroit Tigers. The top outfielder on the market this offseason is George Springer, and I thought ultimately he would end up re-signing with the Astros. However, recent reports suggest that he actually wants out of Houston. The most attractive aspect to Springer's game is his bat, as he led the Astros with 14 homers along with an .899 OPS. With the Tigers bringing in Springer's old manager AJ Hinch, there's a familiarity and comfort there. Also, while Springer may not exactly fit in the Tigers' rebuilding process right now, it would accelerate the process and he would be a core player for the next few seasons while guys like Spencer Torkelson and Riley Green develop. This is similar to 2004 when the Tigers were coming off a horrible season but brought in Ivan Rodriguez, followed by Maglio Ordonez the next season and Kenny Rogers the next. If they sign Springer this year, they'll be in position to add another big free agent next season to go along with him and the young talent coming up. Coming in at number 2, I have JT Realmuto signing with the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies would love to bring Realmuto back, as owner John Middleton has been on the record saying Realmuto is a priority this offseason. With Bryce Harper, who has a very close relationship with Realmuto, also vouching for his return, I ultimately see him and the Phillies finding a way to work out a deal. The Phillies have to be very motivated to bring him back for a couple of reasons. First, he's simply one of the best catchers in the game, if not the best. Second, they traded Sixto Sanchez away for him, who was once a top prospect in their system. In my opinion, JT Realmuto is the best catcher in the game, and if you're the Philadelphia Phillies, you have to do what you can to bring this guy back. And coming in at number 1 on my list, I have Trevor Bauer signing with the New York Mets. And my top free agent this offseason is Trevor Bauer going to the New York Mets. He had a fantastic season in 2020, pitching a very Cy Young worthy season that consisted of a major league leading 1.73 ERA and over 12 strikeouts per 9. With new owner Steve Cohen running the ship, it's time for the Mets to make a splash and bring on Bauer to go alongside Jacob deGrom. The Mets desperately need a number 2 behind deGrom, as the Mets rank 20th in FIP this year and 26th in ERA. Bringing in Bauer would be a great investment for the starting pitching over the next few years, and it would bring a more vocal voice. But in my opinion, I think Queens could use that. They need some energy again, and I mean, come on. deGrom and Bauer at the top of the rotation is just deadly. If the Mets are able to bring on Trevor Bauer along with Liam Hendricks, James McCann, and Jackie Bradley Jr. like I predicted, this would put an exclamation point on a massive offseason for the Mets, reminiscent of the Yankees offseason before the 2009 season that propelled them to a World Series title. I can only imagine Mets fans now. So those are my free agent predictions for this offseason. Tell me what you think down below. Tell me some predictions of your own. But that's all I got for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.